Welcome to this week's rant, which is entitled R8 So long and thanks for all the beats. And we'll come on to that in a couple of minutes. But before we do, what I thought I would quickly do is talk you guys who are Oasis users and T1 users about some stuff that I've put up on eBay to try and help you out. The first is that I've made available a bunch of Oasis discs, purely because people keep writing to me and saying, where can I get these discs? So in the end, I just made the decision that I just make them available on eBay, maybe put some pennies in the channel coffers. And these are the discs that I've put up because these are the discs that you guys have asked for. So the first set of discs that have gone up are the original 1.0 operating system for the Oasis. A number of people have asked me for those, so I've basically put those discs up. There are 4 of them. They're up on eBay, link below. And the next set that people have asked for, or actually people haven't asked for actually this one, but this is the set that I restored my Oasis when I got my Oasis a few years ago. This is the 1.10 operating system for the Oasis. Okay, again, 4 discs, they've all gone up on the internet as well. I was going to put the 1.1 updated discs on the internet, which there are 3 of them. I haven't. I will do if people ask for them, but there are 3 of those discs, and that gets you up to 1.1.1. Okay, the next set of discs I've got here, not that one, are another 4 discs, and this is the minimum operating system. If you've got an Oasis, this is the minimum operating system you should be at, which is 1.3.1. okay, another 4 discs to get you there. Okay, they are up on the internet, as is this disc, which is the final update from Korg before they drop support, and that's 1.3.3a. Now that should, between that and that, you should have all the engines bar 1 on the Oasis, okay? And then the final thing, if it hasn't gone up already, it's just about to go up, are these 2 discs, which will put the ESX3 engine onto your Oasis. You will need to go to Korg to get an authorization code, which they should give you if you can give them a public ID, but that will get the last engine on your machine, and you'll have all the engines fully functional. So I've put those up. The reason I've put those up is because you guys keep writing to me and saying we can't find these anywhere. So, you know, if you can't get them from anywhere else, I thought I might as well just let you have them. So that's the Oasis. Now, if you're a T1 owner, now for some time I've had the operating system, the factory restored disc, available on the internet, and I've also had TSD 01 to TSD 10. Okay, so they were the original set of discs. There's 10 of them there. They were the original set of discs that Korg sold for the T1. So these will all give you 100 combinations and 100 programs. Okay, but they've been up for a while, so I'm not going to talk about those. What has just gone up is and I think these were German. These came from a German operation, and Korg issued them as TSD 101 to TSD 10. Now don't quote me on that, but everything, I keep seeing references to them being something to do with Germany, and I can't, I've never been able to put my finger quite on what they are. Again, it's a different set of combis and another 100 programs. It's 100 combis and 100 programs per disc, and there are 10 of those as well. They're up on the internet. You won't get them in bright red, by the way. I've just put them in bright red so I can distinguish them in the case. And then the other things I've just recently put up on the internet, not that one, not that one. There's some more I might put up. But these ones, if there is sufficient volume and people are asking for them, then I will think about putting these up. This is the World Series, Symphon, World and Ambition. Again, 100 combis and 100 programs on those. And then the other set that I've just put live to see if there's any interest is actually, funny enough, the live set. So these are live DSM. It's 4 discs, numbered discs 1 to 4, funny enough. And they will all give you 100 combis and 100 programs. Up on the internet as it currently stands, there is this set as well, which are the piano and organ. So that's grand piano, FM piano. The FM piano is really good if you like the whole sort of DX7 style piano. Brilliant disc to have. And the Hammond disc as well. So they're already up on the internet. Now there are other discs in my collection. I am willing to put them up if there is a volume, if people want to buy them. But I'm not going to put them up if people don't want them. So it's entirely up to you guys. If you want more of the discs that you can see sitting in my collection here, I've got more T1 discs. I've got more other discs as well. Please let me know. As I said before, the reason I'm making them available is because you can't get them anywhere else, and they're not being sold by the manufacturer anymore. In fact, they haven't been sold by the manufacturer for over 20 plus years. So, you know, I've managed to collect them, I've managed to rescue them and store them and image them so that I can offer this to you if you want them. If you want a full list of all the discs I have, then ping me on the channel, probably DM me on Instagram and Facebook, and then we can exchange email addresses, and I can send you a list of all the discs for the T1, the Roland S50, the Roland S550, N-Sonic, EPS16 ASR, Yamaha SY85. So there's a number of platforms that I've started collecting discs for. So if you want any of those, please get in touch. I can send you a list of all the ones I have, and if you want any of them, we can sort something out. And on that, we're going to move on. I've waited till the end of the day to do this for a couple of reasons. Number one, it was very, very hot out here. And number two, there was a lot of noise with people cutting things and mowing lawns and such like. Anyway, this is the channel promotion. Please feel free to skip through it, but I do feel it's important I should do this on the video. If you haven't subscribed to the video and you like videos about legacy machines and legacy issues, Oasis issues, legacy discs, etc., hit the subscribe icon. If you want to be notified when content arrives on the channel, hit the bell icon, save yourself some time, hit them both together. If you like the contents of this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, please leave comments down below. There's been some really interesting threads on the channel recently that I've followed. It's given me some great ideas. I do respond to you when you raise a comment. Other channel subscribers also comment if you have a problem. And, you know, it's as long as you keep it fair and clean and constructive, you know, you get a fair response back. And finally, down there are the Instagram and Facebook feeds. A lot of you are contacting me on those platforms. Please continue to do so. I do monitor those probably more than I monitor the actual comments on the channel, because obviously Instagram and Facebook are in my pocket. But if you want to get in touch or you want to see the normal channel shenanigans, that's the place to see that. And lastly, I said finally last time, didn't I? And lastly, down there you will see the TMTG community address. Click that, and for less than the price of a cup of coffee, you can support this channel and keep it rocking and rolling and doing the stuff that I do. But now, back to this particular video. So those of you who watch the channel on a regular basis will know that I acquired an R8 last year. This is my Roland R-8 human rhythm composer drum machine to you and I. But this arrived last year, and I have to be brutally honest and say, apart from the initial videos I've done on this, I really haven't had chance to poke around inside it. I've used it many times, but it does have to keep going backwards and forwards to storage because of where my situation at the moment. But it's currently here. And at the time when I got this, I said that there were some problems with the liquid crystal display, which is that display there. Be more of that in a minute. Where I was seeing some funny characters. And I did some poking around on the forums, and there were a number of people on the forums that turned around and said, the issue is something to do with the battery. If the battery doesn't have enough volts to keep the volatile memory alive, then you keep losing settings in the volatile memory, and that's what's leading to the squiffy characters. So I did a video, I changed the battery on this, put a brand new CR2032 battery in the machine, and the battery that came out wasn't giving out 3 volts, it was giving out about 2.6 volts. Now the issue with this sort of age of instrument, and most synthesizers around this age, drum machines, etc., all use the same technology. They had a volatile memory that was kept alive by a battery, and most of them use the same battery as well, or a combination of about 3 or 4 battery sizes around that time. So I changed the battery out, didn't fix the problem. So, and just covering off the battery thing, the circuitry in here doesn't need 3 volts. There is a tolerance there. It's normally around 2.8 or 2.7 volts, depending on who's built it. But if the battery drops below that voltage, then you start getting squiffy characters and funny things going on. Anyway, battery changed, didn't fix problem. And a lot of you have been in touch with me following those videos saying, did it fix the problem? Is changing the battery the right thing to do? And there's a lot of love out there for this particular machine. I was quite surprised, but there was a lot of love out there for this particular machine. You guys have told me that you like the fact that you can have the memory cards on the back here. You can write your custom compositions out to memory cards, and it's got this one's a dedicated PCM memory card, so that's reading tones in, but this one here is a RAM card. You can put that in and you can write your settings out from this to a RAM card. Many of you said you like that feature. A number of you said you like the fact that it's got the individual outs for the instruments, and you can route the instruments there and process them separately. But the bottom line is, even though there's a lot of love out there, many of you said, and I've kind of come to that conclusion myself, is that this screen is the Achilles heel of this particular machine. Roland, what did you do? Rather than put a screen into this machine that we have a modicum of chance of being able to source, and there are lots of aftermarket sources where you can get not LCDs now, but normally LEDs, so different technology, and there's a different driver chip that actually reads the information that comes off the machine, translates it into the new technology. And LEDs are, because of their nature, work in a different way and will last a long time. But when this LCD screen gives up the ghost, that's it. It's a completely custom display. Now, I have the model number of this particular unit. The model number is Sharp. It's made by Sharp, and the model number is LM205220253. I'll get that right. That's LM20253. There's a second number on the board. That second number is F1018CP, which I think is an internal part number, but I don't know whether that's a Roland part number or whether that's a Sharp number. But the important one is LM20253. Now, the problem with that is I can tell you that I have searched high and low on the internet. I've gone to all the normal sources and some that aren't normal, and I can't find this. Now, a picture of the actual corner of the board where the numbers is should be up there. All I can find is it was a custom confirmation. This was a custom order from Roland to Sharp to develop this screen, and that is where the problem is. So effectively, they ordered enough to do the R8 and hold some in spares, but that's it. Once they were gone, they were gone. And nobody thought to actually think about the longevity of these machines. Because the LCD will go wrong. You know, that's the bottom line. The LCD will go wrong. And if you look at the front of the screen, which should be up the top there, the reason why this is custom is because of these two zones. So if you're looking at this, there's a zone in the top left and a zone in the bottom right. Okay, and the way that the screen displays stuff there is specific information that is displayed in those zones, right, which is custom built into this screen. So there are some characters of text here, and then these custom zones. And it's that zoning that makes an aftermarket LCD a problem, or an LED a problem, because nobody makes a screen like that. It's so custom to this machine, there are no other uses of it. So I'm afraid to report that unless you can find somebody parting out a good one of these with a working screen, if the screen on your R8 goes kaput, then I'm afraid you're sending your R8 off to the great drum machine in the sky. And for me, who is a collector of this type of tech, I find that really quite upsetting. An instrument that works in every other respect apart from the screen has to be effectively trashed, parted out, whatever you want to do, whatever you do with it, because the screen has gone kaput. And as I say, I find that really quite upsetting. The issue with the screen is that yes, you can get Bajaxed numbers like I've got, but the worst issue for an LCD screen is the black blobs. What do I mean by black blobs? So basically what happens is LCD, as you probably know, stands for liquid crystal display. And the clue is liquid, all right? So these screens have liquid within them. And for one reason or another, the container that contains the liquid leaks, and it leaks into the layers between effectively the laminate that sits over the top of the screen, and that's why you get the black blobs across the screen. It's the liquid from the liquid crystal. And we know that it leaks over time because over time the screen itself starts to fade, and that means there's not as much liquid crystal in the liquid crystal areas as there once was, and therefore you don't get the brightness of the boldness of the lines of the liquid crystal display. Once you start getting the black blobs move across the screen, because they are between you and the actual electronics of the screen effectively, you can't see what's going on. You don't know what the machine is reporting back to you. And because you don't know what the machine is reporting back to you, you can't use it. As far as I'm aware, there is no remote control for this particular machine. There's no iPad apps that allow you to control it. I suspect somebody will develop one, if I don't know about it. But you effectively are Bajaxed in this. You can't tell what this machine is doing in real time. And because you can't tell what this machine is doing in real time, it becomes unusable. That's where we are. So, my plea to you guys in the community and beyond, for anybody else who actually watches this video, if you know somebody who can do a screen for this, and I think there is a market, and the reason I'm saying that is because I kid you not, I've had 100 people, well, not quite 100 people, nearly 100 people, contact me asking me where I got my screen from. And I haven't replaced my screen, so that's the first thing. But it would be good to get the screen replaced. And what I will do in the next few weeks, now things are becoming a bit more stable for me, is I will actually get the soldering iron out and get a meter out and start having a poke around and see if we've got dry joints, see if that's what's causing my Bajaxed characters, because I don't have the LCD blob of death, and that may fix my screen. It could be a resistor, it could be a number of things in that area. I suspect it might be a dry joint though. That's kind of what I'm thinking at the moment. In fact, I'm hoping, because if it's not, then while I can still use it, it's not pleasurable to use. Anyway, as I said, if anybody out there knows somebody who can make a custom batch of these screens, there must be somebody out there that can do small batch runs. Yes, they're going to be expensive, but there is a market for people who have R8s that effectively have found they're becoming useless because of the LCD screen. In fact, actually, I tell you what, if you could make an LED version of it, even better, would be absolutely over the moon. Because number one, I'd buy one, and I know they're going to be expensive, but I'd still buy one. And I suspect the 100 people who have been in contact with me would probably buy one as well. There's a lot of love for this machine, and it's got an Achilles heel that really does let it down. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to leave you with my normal greeting, which is live long and prosper. And as the light is fading in the garden, you may see me next week from the garden. You may not. Bye-bye.